Well, now in HG, I'm joined as always with Warren Barton, Christopher Sullivan, and Bobby McMahon. I am Eric Winalda, by the way. All right, so here it is. We've talked about all of the teams. Let's talk about the games. First one out of the chute in Group C, England, United States. What happens? I've been waiting for this one for a long time.
The gloves are off. I think for England's point of view, they're going to have to handle the expectation, the pressure on their shoulders. I think for the US, the longer this game draws out to be 0-0, the more confident they will get.
I agree. I think that a point would be positive that the United States, and they're certainly capable to put in a good performance and get a point, even though England is strong. If we see England play the way they did against Croatia, where over 2 legs they had 9 goals for and 2 against, it's going to be difficult. If they play on today's form, they'll take 3 points. But with a good preparation in 5 months, I think they can get a draw.
I think both teams realise that the first game of the World Cup is very, very important for them. And I think it's going to turn out to be a little bit of a stalemate. I think the US will look back to 2006 and where they got into real trouble against the Czech Republic with only a couple of minutes into the game, and I think they're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. And I think it's going to finish up being a draw.
As a draw, and you're saying draw as well?
Well, I put draw, but Fabio Capello, all his teams, if you look back, if they get an early goal, they're not looking back. He knows how to capture.
So that's England's winning.
No, I'd like to see the United States get a draw, definitely. Without a draw.
Okay. I mean, for England to win, I said once they get the first 45 minutes away, the nerves, then the class in the final third will come through.
The way things are going right now for the United States, I'm actually with Warren. Don't hold me to that right now, but I would hope for a draw as well. Okay, Chris, relax, it's okay. The next game, obviously, the other 2 teams have to square off, Algeria and Slovenia. How does this one turn out?
Well, I think you've got to put in the context of the overall schedule. Algeria and Slovenia, knowing they've got to play, in particular England to go. England after that, and I think that really puts a premium on getting a result in this game. Algeria, I was a little bit higher on them before the African Cup of Nations, and I realised the conditions of the African Cup of Nations were not ideal, but overall, and I'm not just talking about the Egyptian result, I thought their performances were quite poor. Even the win against Ivory Coast perhaps wasn't that deserved. So I think Slovenia perhaps going to be a little bit too pragmatic for them, so I'm going to take Slovenia for
I
this
think when you look at Slovenia as well, going forward, they've got great ability, they're graceful going forward. Algeria are very compact and organised. I can see this being a scoring draw. I think both teams will realise this is a great opportunity so they get 3 points.
I put a draw as well, but you'd have to give a slight edge just because of the weather. You know, it's our summer, but it's a winter over there. Slovenia will come out of the gates fast.
Great point. That's a great point. Okay, the next game for the United States will be against Slovenia. Is this where they get their points?
Well, originally I had put that they were going to win this game, but I went back and changed. I think that Slovenia gets a draw.
You changed
It's going to change again because about the form of the day. And you look, the United States has a plethora of players that are not match fit right now. We need those players to be in the national team. I think that Slovenia, in this particular game, could probably get a draw and force the United States to look for 3 points against Algeria.
Be careful. You said we, and I've been so proud of you for that.
It's England and the US, but I think for this game, I think after maybe the US losing against England, they won't want to get beat. So I can't see them, losing this game. I think it will be a draw.
Okay, well that was kind of safe actually. Now England's next opponent obviously would be Algeria. Is this where it gets a little sticky?
Well, I think for England's point of view, they now look to progress and start making a statement in the tournament to say we've won the first game. Now we're going to show how good. That's how good the confidence is in the England camp at the moment. Capello has driven that through the players, and the more familiar they get to their surroundings, they will respect Algeria and they will give them respect. But again, like I said against the US, in the final third, England have got more quality.
Well, go on. Sorry, I think I agree with that one. I just think that England should cruise this one. I really don't see they're going to have any problem at all.
Is that you saying England will cruise, Bobby?
Yes.
Well, for me, I actually think that this might be England's chance to really just come out flying. I think this is a game that they win handily. So I didn't get your point of view though.
2006, Sven-Goran Eriksson, it was a terrible preparation. England was a disaster. Even though on paper they were extremely good, I think under Fabio Capello they kick into another gear in the second game. They're going to push right through.
Yeah, I remember those results you were talking about against Croatia, 5-1, 4-1. So very impressive to me. All right, we're moving on here. Slovenia finally meets England. How does this one go?
Well, I think England are going to cruise this one as well because I think the fullbacks...
We've got England on cruise control.
I think Glenn Johnson, if he's playing right back, but particularly Ashley Cole on the left-hand side, I think England have got defenders that can jump up and attack, and I think that's going to upset Slovenia. You look at their game against Russia in particular, where they were set up in such a way, Russia weren't able to throw at them anything a little bit different, but I think England, particularly their wide men, in like Ashley Cole and Glenn Johnson, can give them that variety,
but also,
can give them some pace.
We've just seen there as well the pace of England in the final third. It could be Aaron Lennon on that right-hand side. One thing that they haven't got is at the back. They're not very organised, not very pacey at the back. So that's England's point of view again. Again, the confidence should be high. They should be looking to this game to go through. And Capella's mentality is to win every game. It's
Right.
not to draw a game, it's to win it. And that's
Was
how
that the
progress.
problem in the past with England? Because he might get the rap. This is his first World Cup, and the Italians are always coming out of the gate slow. Does this happen with England? That might be the case, but you don't feel so.
I think what you're trying to get is the Italian mentality of not losing the game and get it. And the goal is to win the trophy, and the English mentality is to play and go forward and entertain. So hopefully you've got a happy medium, and England can do that in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, my inclination is to think that they come out of the gates playing a little Italian, but there's been no evidence.
That's
that.
England's problem in the past. They've tried to play continental. You said about Sven-Goran Eriksson trying to play the continental way. It should be the British way, and that's where they've come good, because the climate will suit them as well.
Yeah, you look at some of the stats that we've seen over the years when England played in World Cups, the majority of the goals have come in the first half. And that isn't good in the World Cup. You need to build to the second half and take advantage of the other team when they're tired.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see if that changes this time.
So basically, England's on cruise control as far as you guys are concerned. Now, is it that the last game might end up being the most important game of all for the United States against Algeria?
I think so, and ideally you'd want to play, the United States would want to play against Algeria in the first match rather than England, but it gives them a chance to catch England as they're starting up. In this final game, it could be dangerous. You don't want to overlook Algeria. They might have nothing to lose at this point, and they're a team that are unpredictable. They can have an outstanding performance on the day. I think this is where the United States pull their 3 points, and if they have another point, 4 puts them through.
So they might be as well that Algeria have only got 8 players left to pick from. They've got 3 red cards.
Well, whether they keep their cool is going to be a big question, and nerves are always a big piece of World Cups.
But I think the other thing is that the US have got a bit of an advantage on Algeria as well. Algeria have got to fly to the venue for
Yes.
the game in the third round
2 hour
game.
flight.
Plus, it's going up to altitude. Well, the US will be maintaining at altitude, so I think that's a big advantage in terms of that final game.
Well, one thing you should never underestimate as well, we saw with Croatia in 1998, we've seen with the former Yugoslavian countries when they come, they're extremely proud. The Algerians, they've gotten here, same with Slovenia, and they have nothing to lose when they play there. They have great pedigree, great culture in their football. Expect them to give some type of surprise and show.
I think you're right. This is kind of an eclectic group. Okay, final thoughts, guys. Who gets through?
I've gone for England and US.
Hey, good for you.
England, US.
Why should I disrupt the conventional wisdom?
Well, that was easy. I think we finally figured it out. I think I agree with you guys, believe it or not. This has been Passport to South Africa, presented by Progressive Insurance. It's been a pleasure being with you today. For Warren Barton, Christopher Sullivan, and Bobby McMahon, I'm Eric Winalda. We will see you next time on FSC.